Today's video is going to be about the top ways to motivate your employees. They're kind of in order from best to worst. And I promise, I just realized I have more than one color shirt. I don't have just purple shirts. Anyway, my name is Hopfe, and I am a human resources consultant. Top ways to motivate your employees. They're not really numbered in this. Just kind of follow along. Maybe this is a active listening activity. Just take notes. Number one, I would say, is pay them well. I've had other videos. I've mentioned this. The only reason why people get jobs is because they need money. So you want to think about the minimum wage, legally what you have to pay. You've got to talk about living wage, which will help you attract better employees. Industry standard wage, which will help you attract the best employees. You want a pay grid that will allow you to keep a proper budget and to be fair and to help you in your negotiations when you're hiring the new employees. You want to give a yearly cost of living pay increase. This is just the way the world's working. If you're not giving a cost of living increase, at least your employees are going to start looking for another job. Merit pay increases, yes, you want those at least once a year for your best employees. Merit increases is directly related to performance reviews. And that's number 2 on my list, doing proper performance reviews. Normally, big organizations, most organizations, once a year. That is not effective. That is not good enough. And the problem with those once a year reviews is they're ridiculous. They're 10 pages. Takes you a week for your supervisors and managers to get these done. That's not time well spent for your organization. You're going to have them often. At least monthly. I want you to do monthly. But if you really think it's going to be too much of a hassle, do them at least quarterly. But when I finish talking about them right now, I think you're going to agree that my method of doing them monthly is good and is doable. So you want them to be fast. Your supervisor or you want to be able to do them in 5 minutes or less. That's actually filling out the form. And they're simple check boxes, 5 or 6 questions, or maybe 3 or 5 questions, right? It doesn't have to be a whole lot. It's, is this person a good team player? Does this person accomplish their tasks on time? You know, those types of questions. Really general. You can use the same half-page performance review for all your employees. Right? Because it's the things that you value within your organization. So, fast. They need to do them fast. They need to be short. So, a lot of times you'll see paragraphs of this employee does this and that and well, and there was one incident where they did this or whatever. They're writing these big paragraphs about what's going on. That's not needed. Make them short. You have your basic questions where you're just ticking off 0 to 4. And, you know, most of your people are going to be about a 2. A 2 is is a standard employee. And at the bottom of that, you're going to leave 2 to 3 lines for your supervisor or for you to write a note. And it's not a life story. It's just some sort of thing, incident. This person likes to bring in muffins for everyone each day. It's very, very pleasant. Or this person has serious training needs we need to address. And that's it. You know, keep them short. Very short. There's no reason to write the paragraph. Please resist the temptation to flip it over and write on the back. The next step of a good performance review is that it's quantifiable and you can track it. With the multiple choice or with the numbered questions that you're just ticking off, you're adding those all up, dividing it by the total, and you got a percentage. Employee that comes up with 75%, probably not someone you have to worry about. Someone who's coming up with 25%, probably someone you need to worry about. Every time you do performance evaluation for your employee, you put it on a spreadsheet and you put the total number down. June 1st, they got a 75. July 1st, they got an 80. And you just keep going and you'll see the trend. You can turn it into a little graph and you can see the trend line. As long as they're staying the same or maybe increasing, you're good. A good performance review like this reduces the time biases. If you're doing them yearly, January, this employee does this amazing thing, saves thousands of dollars for the organization, a hero. But then in December, when you're trying to do the performance evaluations for that whole year, in November, they did something. They messed up. Something happened. Now you're doing the performance review and all you're remembering is this bad thing that happened in November. So suddenly, instead of being a top performer, this employee is the lowest of the low. Right? And that's not fair. If you had a review every month for the year, you'll see that in January, they scored a 90. You were thinking, we might promote this person. Let's keep an eye on them. And then for the rest of the year, maybe they were 75. And that's good. But in November, whatever they buggered up, messed up, they got 25%. That's not cause for firing yet. That's just cause for let's get that training in. Let's help you so you don't make that same mistake again. So this performance review process allows you to have short one-on-one meetings more often. A lot of times managers, supervisors don't have that one-on-one communication except for that yearly meeting. And that's not good. That's nowhere near adequate enough. This communication, this regular communication, at least monthly, is going to allow you to get to know the person, get to know your employee, find out what their real problems are. Because you're going to get feedback from them, and you'll be able to give feedback to them. And this allows you to give support and set up any training needs. Because an organization that hires somebody, trains them to do their job, and then leaves them for 10, 15 years is not a good organization. Training should be the most important thing you're doing. This allows you to create goals and KPIs on a monthly basis, not just yearly. If you say this year you need to make sales of at least $1.5 million, and that seems daunting. But if you've got a monthly goal of $100,000 in sales, that's something you can work to. That's something you can work with. It's a little more reasonable of a goal, and have those KPIs, monthly tracking. Because again, KPIs tracked for the year. It doesn't tell us what time of year you were doing good, what time you were doing bad. Our life has issues. Maybe you have a major loss or a major issue in June. At the end of the year, that made it so that you didn't quite reach your KPIs. But if we're doing it monthly, we can look at it and say, yes, we understand that there was an issue that time. After that, they did better or just as well. It means they're still a good employee, but it means life happens, and it lets us see those things. Pay them well, Performance reviews. Number 3 is recognition. Now, I know a lot of managers and owners, they're scared to give recognition because they automatically assume that person is going to ask for a pay raise. If you've already created the pay grid, you're already secured because you've budgeted for that position for the high end of that. So if they do ask, you do have that ability to bring them up a notch if it's recognition enough. Your policy might be, let's give you recognition 2 or 3 times in a year, then we'll give you a merit increase, right? But as long as you have some sort of policy in place, it's going to help you, it's going to make you feel better and make you not be scared to give recognition. Because some people, you could keep them at the same pay for years and years, and they're happy because they're getting the recognition. Number 4, ongoing training. I already mentioned that in the performance review because now you know what the training is. But organization-wide, you should be thinking, how can I train these people up? And again, there's a fear. Owners and managers, they're scared to give all this amazing additional training to their employees because they're worried the employee is going to leave the organization because now they've got way more skills, way more experience, and now the next company is going to benefit from that. Owners and managers tend to hold back. But think about this. If you have amazing training and you have amazing pay and whatever, and someone leaves your organization, they are not leaving mad. They are leaving very happy. So instead of saying, oh, that organization, they're a bunch of crooks, they don't pay well, they didn't train me, it was a terrible environment. Now they're leaving your organization. They are people. They have their own careers and lives that they're building. So if their next step in their career is to move to another organization, that's fine. Because now they're leaving happy. They're saying, oh, I worked for Ian over at his company and it was amazing. He trained me. He kept training me. He gave me pay increases and merit increases. It's just unfortunately in the company, there was no upward movement for me, right? So yes, your organization might not be in a situation where you need to promote someone or hire someone at a higher level. That's fine. Now they left happy. Now people are thinking, that's a great place for me to start my career. Now you're going to start getting better quality applications to your positions that you put out. Just think about that. I hinted again, number 5, internal promotions. Now this is great because when you go into a new organization, you have to learn about that organization. Not only are you learning about your job, but you're learning all the organizational information, how the organization works, how things fit together. The more an employee knows about the organization and their position in it and how their position builds on other things, the more you have that, the more understanding your employees can be. Because I do this job so that Wendy can do her job, and Wendy does her job so Max can do his job, right? And they're in the puzzle. They know where they're at, right? And they also understand that if Max ever retires, I want his job. Internal promotions are important because now you're moving an experienced person into a role, an experienced person with your organization. Doesn't necessarily mean they know how to do that role, but they can learn and they understand how that role connects with their current role. Internal promotions also allows you to hire entry-level employees. Now, these are people right out of college or 18-year-olds or whatever who are coming into the workforce. It allows you to constantly have that role open. Very rarely should you be advertising higher level positions in your organization, because you should be able to hire someone entry level. This is a great benefit because you're paying them less. And now they're working up within the organization. They're learning your organization. They're learning their jobs. You're giving them an opportunity to learn this job or that job, right? And that's a big loyalty builder. Internal promotions, if you can do it, your employees are going to just love you. Number 6, we're looking at employee engagement surveys by a third party. Now, you've already got, you're taking the pulse of your organization already because you're doing the performance reviews on a regular. But your employee engagement survey by a third party allows this third party to examine you and your organization. And this can be scary. And again, this is one of those situations where owners and managers don't want outside information. They don't want to be examined. They don't want to be told they're doing things wrong. You, as the owner or the manager, want as much information about you and your organization and how it's operating as possible. You need all that information to build and to grow your business or your organization. And having a third party do it allows them to be a little more critical. It can be so valuable. It will allow you to pinpoint 1 to 3 of your top issues within your organization. And then for the next while, that's what you concentrate on. You know what you need to fix. I recommend employee engagement surveys at least twice a year. At least. But if you can do them quarterly, that's even better. Because it allows you to see, how are things changing? Did your efforts to correct the problem start to take hold? And these could be very simple to correct these sorts of things, or it can be very difficult. You always want to look at the top 3 and say, how can we work on this quarter? How can we work on this for the next 6 months? And don't take it as criticism of bad work. Take it as feedback for you to learn and grow. And make sure it's always a third party. Hire someone to do it. Hire the HR person you might be consulting with to do it. Because this is an outside person. Your employees are going to trust it better. And you're going to get better, honest answers. I know when I go to see a client, I can be brutal. I can tell them exactly what they don't want to hear. And I'm not scared of it. Because I'm not an employee. If they don't want to contract with me anymore, fine. I have to be brutally honest. Because I need to help my client the best way I can. And the best way I can do that is to be brutally honest in these situations. We were at number 6. After your business is thriving, then you can look at number 7. 5, 6, 7. There, 7. You're looking at number 7, and that's the benefits. You've already dealt with, are you paying them well? Are you giving them feedback and training and giving them recognition and internal promotions? Number 7 is benefits, because this costs money. If your organization is effective and making money, now you can pull in the benefits. At this point, any benefits is better than no benefits. Even if you're at 50% or 75% coverage, that's better than nothing. Try to pay 100% of it if you can. But depending on how your organization is doing, and that's why I say when your business is thriving, you can do 50-50 split on the benefits or something like that. I don't like that. I don't like when you split your benefits with your employees. I think the employer should be paying for it, because that is another amazing way to build trust and loyalty. If you give them a 50-50 plan where they pay half and you pay half, you're actually reducing their income. So I don't like that, because the number one, remember, was pay them well. So anything you do that reduces their income is bad. All right, that was number 7. Number 8, this is the one-time bonuses. Again, only when your business is thriving. Don't make any promises on this. This might be once a year, annual Christmas party in December. You give bonuses. Try to make them good bonuses, $500 or $1,000. I've mentioned before in other videos, don't do the Jelly of the Month Club or a silly gift card to some restaurant or something like that. The thing employees want, again, going back to employees get jobs to make money. So the one-time bonus should be money. If you've gotten this far, I thank you very much. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any follow-up questions, please go ahead, put them in the comments. Thanks. Bye.